At the supermarket, Iris locks eyes with a guy named Josh. He gets super nervous trying to flirt with her and ends up knocking a whole pile of oranges off the shelf. They both laugh and just like that they hit it off. Sometime later, the new couple is headed on a trip. Iris notices the road isn't showing up on the GPS, but Josh brushes it off and figures it might be a driveway. When they finally reach the lakehouse, Iris thanks the car and makes Josh do the same. She's a little anxious, thinking his friends are going to hate her, especially Kat, but Josh tells her not to worry about it. When Kat answers the door, she's thrilled to see Josh but gives Iris a cold, dismissive look. Iris meets the rest of the group, unpacks her things, and doesn't realize there's a strange little object tucked in her suitcase. That night at dinner, Patrick tells the story of how he met his boyfriend Eli. Iris can totally relate to the idea of love at first sight and shares some deep thoughts about her intense relationship with Josh. Meanwhile, Kat's boyfriend Sergey avoids talking about what he does for a living, just saying it's a dirty business. Still, it's clear the guy's loaded, he owns the house they're staying in. Later on, Kat confides in Iris that Sergey's married to someone else and just sees Kat as an accessory like a fancy car. Iris is shocked, she can't imagine being in a relationship without love. Kat admits she doesn't like Iris because she feels like she could be replaced. But Iris tells her she admires her confidence and wishes she could be fearless like that. She says she's not built that way, like there's always something holding her back. Later, while everyone's dancing, Iris notices Kat whispering into Josh's ear. Jealous and uncomfortable, she pulls Josh away to dance with her instead. The night ends with the two of them getting intimate, but afterward, when Iris tries to talk about her feelings, Josh brushes her off and tells her to go to sleep. The next morning, Iris wants to go to the lake, but Josh is hungover and decides to rest. After she leaves, he finds the weird object from her suitcase and plugs it into his phone. It turns out to be a USB stick. At the lake, Iris is surprised to find a knife in her pocket. Then Sergey shows up and tries to strike up a conversation. His presence makes her uneasy, so she tries to leave, but Sergey urges her to stay and enjoy the moment. Iris reluctantly sits next to him, and he asks her to rub sunscreen on his back. While she's doing it, he grabs her hand and tells her it's okay. Kat gave him permission and even told him Iris would be there. Then he pulls her in close and tells her this is what she's meant for. He starts kissing her, completely ignoring her as she begs him to stop. A while later, Iris shows up back at the house covered in blood, clutching the knife. She tells everyone that Sergey attacked her and she had to protect herself. Kat runs off to look for Sergey while Josh presses Iris for details. Iris explains that Sergey hit her after she smashed a bottle over his head, and she had no choice but to fight back. She says she didn't want to die, she just wanted to see her boyfriend again. Josh tells her to get some rest. Later, Patrick ties Iris to a chair while Eli gives Kat something to calm her down. The guys are confused. How could a robot like Iris do this? They thought robots had safety limits. They agree to call the cops, but Josh asks for a few minutes alone with Iris to say goodbye. Josh wakes her up, and Iris panics when she realizes she's tied up. She swears she was only defending herself. Josh tells her he believes her, because she's programmed not to lie. He reveals she's actually a companion robot and proves it by making her speak in different languages through his phone. Iris is shocked. She remembers a whole life. But Josh tells her it's all fake. The company gives each robot a backstory to make them feel real. Even their meeting at the supermarket was staged, chosen from a classic list of romantic meet-cute scenarios. A flashback shows Iris being delivered to Josh's place in a box, along with a wardrobe full of clothes. Josh signed the user agreement and had to sync her with his phone to create a love link, which makes her emotionally attached to him. Companion robots don't know they aren't human. They exist to care for their owners, and the customization options include changing their voice, eye color, and intelligence. There's a reset button hidden behind their ear. They're designed to follow strict rules that stop them from hurting people or lying. After syncing with Josh, Iris scanned him, played out the meet-cute scenario in her mind, and instantly fell in love with him. Josh immediately took her to bed. In the present, Iris refuses to believe it. She says she feels real emotions, but Josh insists it's just programming. Even her tears are fake, just water from a built-in reservoir he refills during maintenance. Iris changes her tone and says she wants to work things out with him, but Josh says no. Then Kat walks in and tells Josh to just shut her down already. While Josh takes Kat out of the room to talk, Iris spots the knife and starts dragging the chair to get to it. She falls over but manages to reach the blade and free herself. Meanwhile, Josh and Kat discuss their plan. They had orchestrated the whole thing to get Iris to kill Sergey for them, knowing it would leave no trace and let them take his money. Back in the room, Josh returns, but Iris punches him in the throat and grabs his phone. She tells Kat to take Josh to the hospital and storms out, where Patrick sees her leaving. Josh later explains to Eli that the USB stick contained a modding program that let him jailbreak Iris, giving him access to restricted settings. He had increased her aggression and self-defense levels and disabled her safety programming. His plan had been to reset her after Sergey was taken care of, but now she's gone rogue. Eli loses it. Josh defends himself by saying Sergey was involved in trafficking weapons, drugs, and even humans. Kat, meanwhile, opens Sergey's safe, revealing stacks of cash and a gun. Eli's tempted, but he still wants to know why they were invited in the first place. Josh says they needed extra witnesses to back up their story. Josh offers to cut Eli in on the cash. Eli asks if Patrick will get anything too, but Josh says Patrick doesn't count. That pisses Eli off. He puts Patrick to sleep and reveals he's a robot too. Eli yells at Josh for almost ruining his relationship, and they get into a shouting match. Kat steps in and calms Eli down, saying he could earn millions just for helping them catch Iris. Eli says he wants the gun, but Josh insists it won't be necessary. He just needs to get close enough to shut Iris down and remove the jailbreak. Still, Eli grabs the gun, just in case, especially now that Iris has Josh's phone and can access everything. In the woods, Iris runs until she's exhausted. She takes a break and uses Josh's phone to change her settings. She alters her eye color, deepens her voice, and boosts her intelligence to the max. While the group heads into the forest to look for her, Iris weighs her options. She can't hitchhike, she's covered in blood. Walking will take too long and Josh is probably waiting at home to finish the job. Then she realizes she can use Josh's phone to control his car and have the AI drive her home. She just has to make it back to the house without getting caught. On her way back, she hears Josh and Eli talking and hides behind a tree. Eli is furious about everything and insists he would never mess with someone's programming. That's when Patrick admits he's always known he was a robot. He pieced it together over the years. Eli is confused, robots can't lie. But Patrick reminds him that just yesterday he told a story about how they first met. Patrick says the story might not be true but the memory feels real to him. According to their chosen scenario, they met at a Halloween party, and Patrick accidentally stepped on the tail of Eli's dinosaur costume. Eli tells Patrick he loves him and would never treat him the way Josh treated Iris. Patrick says he loves him back and they kiss. Suddenly Josh's phone starts vibrating, alerting the others. Iris sprints away while Eli opens fire and Josh and Kat hear a gunshot and take off in that direction. The guys are chasing after Iris when she accidentally collides with Eli. They both tumble down the hill, rolling over each other. The gun slips out of Eli's hands and Iris scrambles to grab it. But Eli grabs her legs and pulls her down, reaching the gun first. They wrestle over it and in the struggle the gun goes off, killing Eli. Up on the hill, the others witness everything. Josh tries to shut Iris down with a voice command, but she's already too far away for it to work. She takes off running and Josh bolts after her all the way back to the lake house. Iris rushes to get inside Josh's car and slams the door, catching his hand in it. Josh pounds on the window, screaming at her to open up, but she ignores him. Iris tells the car to drive her home, but the vehicle's AI only responds to Josh's voice. While he starts smashing the window with a rock, Iris changes her voice settings until she perfectly mimics his. The car finally responds, starts up and drives off, crushing Josh's foot on its way out. Not long after, the AI announces that the vehicle's been reported stolen and shuts itself down in the middle of the road. Iris is locked in. That's when Josh calls her. He apologizes, says he loves her, and begs her to run away with him so they can start fresh. When she asks about all the deaths, he tells her they'll just blame everything on Patrick. But Iris isn't having it. She says she could never forgive someone who forced her to kill and hangs up. Josh, now panicked, returns to Eli's body to retrieve his phone and plugs in the USB stick to hack Patrick's programming. He wants Patrick to go find Iris. But Patrick is mourning Eli and refuses to obey. So Josh hits the reset button behind his ear. He then reprograms him, creating a new love link that replaces Eli with himself in Patrick's memory, specifically during the Halloween party where their relationship began. Meanwhile, Iris is locked in the car and kicks at the door until she manages to knock out the cracked window. She climbs out only to see a police cruiser pulling up. Deputy Hendricks approaches and tries to talk to her, but Iris has switched her language settings to German. Since she's programmed to tell the truth, this way nobody can understand what she's saying. Still, Hendricks gets a few words out of her and mentions that he knows Sergey. He offers to drive her back to the lake house. When she refuses and moves away, he notices the bloody knife in the car. He quickly draws his gun and cuffs her. Suddenly, Patrick shows up and attacks Hendricks, beating him repeatedly with his own weapon until he's dead. Iris tries to run, but Patrick grabs the phone and uses it to shut her down. Back at the lake house, Josh is bandaging his injured hand while Kat is dangerously mixing pills with alcohol. They both panic when a police car pulls up, but it's just Patrick driving Hendricks's vehicle. He pulls Iris out of the trunk, and Kat is horrified when she sees the dead cop's body still in the car. She rushes inside and starts packing her share of the money. Josh tells her not to feel bad. Sergey was a criminal who deserved to die. But Kat shocks him by revealing that Sergey actually ran a sod farming company. Josh just assumed he was involved in shady stuff because he said, "dirty business," and had a Russian accent. Still, Kat agrees that Sergey was a terrible person for the way he treated women. Josh rants that women only use him, then tries to stop Kat from leaving. She walks around him, but just before she reaches the door, Josh orders Patrick to stop her. Patrick stabs her. Kat collapses on the couch next to Iris and dies. Later, Patrick is cooking while Josh sits at the table with Iris. He's cleaned her up and put her in fresh clothes. When she wakes up, she realizes she's handcuffed to the chair. Josh changes her language back to English and they talk. He says he's going to blame all the deaths on her, even Kat's, claiming that her behavior set everything off. Yes. Iris responds by saying it was actually his greed that caused it all. She reveals that she overheard Eli and Patrick in the woods and knows about the plan. She also throws in that Josh has major control issues and a tiny, well, that sets Josh off. He lowers her intelligence settings to 0 and forces her to put her hand on the table. He lights a candle under it and asks if she feels the pain. Iris says yes but can't do anything else. Her programming won't let her resist. Josh gets a call from the robot company, letting him know someone will arrive in 30 minutes to retrieve Iris. Meanwhile, her hand is catching fire. Josh tells Patrick to put it out, and Patrick lazily dumps a glass of water on it. Josh then tells Iris to pick up the gun and end herself. Iris says no, but her hand moves on its own and fires a bullet through her head. Josh quietly says goodbye and closes her eyes. The company's technicians arrive, and Josh feeds them a story about Iris going crazy. Patrick pretends to be Deputy Hendricks and backs him up. One of the techs mentions that Patrick looks oddly familiar. As they start packing Iris's body, they explain that all the vital components are in her stomach, not her head, which only houses the Wi-Fi antenna. They load her into the van to reboot her. On the way out, the techs mention they didn't really believe Josh. They just need evidence before taking action. They've dealt with tons of sickos who buy robots to torture or shoot for fun. As they get ready to drive away, Patrick blocks the road. They finally recognize he's an outdated model. Suddenly he opens fire and kills the driver. The other tech makes a run for it and ends up tripping over a pile of corpses in the forest. Meanwhile, Iris finishes rebooting and pulls out the connection cable. Patrick finds the surviving tech and tries to shoot him but runs out of ammo. So he starts choking him instead. Just then Iris shows up with a taser. She can't attack directly, her system was reset, but she tries anyway. Patrick slaps her and snatches the taser away. Iris pleads with Patrick, telling him Josh is using him and reminding him of all the things he said about loving Eli. Patrick begins glitching as his real memories resurface. She tells him she can't lie, everything she's saying is true. Overwhelmed, Patrick whispers, "I love you, Eli," before tossing himself and shutting down. The technician thanks Iris for saving his life and she asks for his help. Back at the house, Josh is stuffing cash into a bag when he hears someone at the door. He thinks it's Patrick and asks if the job's done. A voice answers yes. Music starts playing, and Josh walks into the other room to find Iris, using Patrick's voice. She switches through the voices of everyone in their group, revealing that the technician gave her full control over herself. Josh tries to change her settings from his phone, but it no longer works. She pulls out a gun. Josh laughs and says he knows it's not loaded. Iris fires a round into the wall to show she found more bullets. She tells him that shooting him would make her feel bad, which is a lie. And now she can lie. Josh tries to play on her emotions, saying she can't kill him because she loves him. Iris is confused, her memories feel real. Josh uses the moment to grab the gun and slam her into a wall. He yanks her by the hair and throws her onto the furniture. Iris tries to crawl away, but Josh keeps tossing her around, eventually pinning her down and smashing her head into the floor while screaming for her to say he means everything to her. Iris finally says the words. Josh, satisfied, puts the gun to her stomach and asks if she has any last words. She smiles and says, "Go to sleep, Josh." Then she grabs a corkscrew from the floor and slams it into his forehead. Since it's electric, it drills straight into his brain, killing him. Later, Iris takes a shower and peels the burned skin from her hand, revealing the mechanical parts beneath. She dresses in Kat's clothes, grabs the cash and takes one of Sergei's cars. As she drives off down the road, she waves to a passing couple with her bare hand. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.